In 1962, George Samuel Clason published a collection of moral stories set in the ancient city of Babylon. These stories were published in a book called The Rich Man of Babylon, which later became one of the reference books in the field of finance. If you have not read this wonderful book yet, you have missed the important points about gaining wealth and capital mentioned in this book. The story is about a character named 𝐾𝒆𝒍 who made chariots and a character named 𝒃𝒏𝒏 who was a musician. Both were successful in their careers but still did not have a good financial situation and were poor. So they tried to follow the advice of their childhood friend named 𝒃𝒏𝒏, who had become very successful and wealthy. 𝒃𝒏𝒏 was the richest man in Babylon, and although he always spent freely, or helped charities, he was always rich, as if this capital were inexhaustible. 𝒃𝒏𝒏 told a story to two friends. He said that he himself was once poor and moneyless and always tried to connect with rich people to discover the secret of their success. He found a rich man and decided to stay with him in exchange for engraving on the inscriptions. The rich man taught him a great lesson. I found my way to get rich when I realized that part of my income went to me to keep and save. So you have to do the same. This is a very important lesson, and it is a point on which many wealthy people raise and grow their capital. 𝒃𝒏𝒏, as the richest man in Babylon, did not spend all his capital. He always saved a tenth or 10% of it and invested it in ways that he was sure would increase his capital. This is the first law of wealth. Save 10% of your income on investment. The book points out that wealth and money go to someone who saves and invests 10% of their income. This rule is that you first pay your salaries yourself. Capitalists enforce this law well. Many people are dissatisfied with their low income and believe that whatever they do, their income will not increase. Although this is true to some extent, if people calculate their expenses and know what they are spending on, they will find that many of their priorities, such as eating out on the weekends or holidays that are full of complexity, are neither fun nor comfortable. All you have to do is set aside 10% of your monthly income before paying any bills, rent payments, etc. The more this amount is added together, the more profit you make from it. But sometimes there is an economic crisis, such as paying for medical expenses, car repairs, etc. that should not scare you. The second rule is that you must invest your income. Wealth goes to someone who invests it wisely, the book says. These principles were quickly discovered and applied by 𝒃𝒏𝒏, the richest man in Babylon. He was able to manage his expenses and soon recognized the difference between necessary and unnecessary expenses. To determine unnecessary expenses, you should ask yourself if I need it or not. If the answer is no, it is unnecessary and you should not buy it. Once the money you save has increased, you need to look for safe ways to invest your money. There are many ways to invest. For example, you can invest in real estate, stocks, business, etc. You should see your capital as little soldiers who go to war and bring trophies with them. The more soldiers you have, the more trophies you get. But before you make a big investment, you need to be absolutely sure about the area you want to invest in. If you invest properly, your wealth will increase. The third rule for gaining more wealth is to consult with professionals before investing. The book states that wealth needs the protection of a wealthy person who invested in a field. You work hard to earn your capital, so you should not lose a single penny. Well, then you should not lose it based on inexperience with the wrong investment. This is exactly the mistake that the poor and even the middle class make. They make the wrong investments and, based on the inexperience and words of others, they gradually lose their wealth. Capitalists, on the other hand, invest their wealth in consultation with professionals in safe havens, and do not trust every single person or word before making any major investments. You should not trust non-experts and entrust your capital to them. The fourth law of wealth is that if a person invests his capital in fields with which he is unfamiliar, or which is not safe for experts, he will lose his capital. The best way to explain this better is to get help from my friend John. John did the first wealth law well for a year and now has about $10,000 in savings. He is an intelligent person, reading several books a year, watching TV shows and cyberspace videos on how to store wealth and earn money. Although the soul of an intelligent person is not very good at investing. In fact, this is his weakness. These are areas that John and many other poor people invest in under the influence of television programs, etc. A unique home to buy that you should not miss. Contact us immediately and invest. Invest in a stock that is very prosperous. What happens 2 months later? The first rule in investing is that if you are not proficient in a field and you are not familiar with it, do not invest in it. Or you can use the advice of financial professionals. This is something that John and others like him should do before investing. Instead of investing in bad real estate or stocks, you should consult someone who is successful in real estate. So John went bankrupt with the wrong decision and only has $500 in his bank account. But hope should not be lost. It was a great idea to be able to make up for lost money and earn more money at the same time. His idea and plan are simple. He decided to go to Vegas and bet on a few games and get his lost money back. He is quite confident that he can return the money and earn even more. The fifth law of wealth is that wealth is not produced in strange ways or using the orders of swindlers. Finally, John thought that the fastest and safest way to get his money back was to bet on games he was good at. Although there are very few people who win big money in betting, John was able to do it. John learned 2 important lessons. One is that betting in Vegas is there. And that there is not always a quick way to get rich. These are the points from the book that 𝒄𝒏𝒏𝒆𝒍 introduced to his friends, which are in fact investment habits that must be followed to get rich. These tips have helped millions of people around the world to get rich and will surely benefit you as well.